Introduction. Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art. Applications for Jiu-Jitsu are found in self-defense, Jiu-Jitsu competitions, and mixed martial arts competitions. Primary aspects of Jiu-Jitsu are defense, sweeps, chokes, and limb locks. It is designed to allow a smaller opponent to defeat a larger opponent. A Jiu-Jitsu practitioner and teacher once said, "Nobody's a tough guy when they can't breathe." This idea is the premise of Jiu-Jitsu in that it identifies that even the toughest person has a weak spot and can be defeated. Jiu-Jitsu's origins are debated. Some say it was developed in India by monks, while others trace origins back to Japan. Both histories may be true. The most popular form of modern Jiu-Jitsu is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was created by the Gracie family and has been passed down the family lineage since the time of Helio Gracie. In 1993, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu gained widespread popularity after being showcased at Ultimate Fighting Championship 1. At UFC 1, Royce Gracie defeated bigger, stronger opponents using Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. From there, Jiu-Jitsu has gained popularity and new offshoots of Jiu-Jitsu have emerged or been brought into the spotlight. Jiu-Jitsu is a very complex and technical form of combat. Arguably, it is more technical than any other form of martial arts. For example, in boxing, kickboxing, or any other similar form of martial arts, a knockout punch can still be a knockout punch even if it is off-center. A choke or limb lock is different. A choke has to be placed just right or it does not work. It might hurt, but it will not cause the opponent to lose consciousness. For that reason, the moves described have to be done just right. Due to this, it can take more time to learn Jiu-Jitsu because of the level of technical skill required. Jiu-Jitsu is often referred to as ground game. While the ground is a large aspect of Jiu-Jitsu, it is not all that Jiu-Jitsu encompasses. Many Jiu-Jitsu techniques are employed while standing. Chokes, locks, defense, and takedowns can all be performed from a standing position. We will cover aspects for both the standing and ground-based areas of Jiu-Jitsu. In this manual, the basics of Jiu-Jitsu for self-defense application will be covered. Defensive maneuvers will be a primary focus, as that is the first part of any good Jiu-Jitsu program. The ability to fight against a larger or more skilled opponent is essential to preventing the fight from being taken to the ground, or in surviving a fight when it goes to the ground. 7 specific areas will be covered. 1. Takedowns, takedown defense, and movement. This will relay movement, some basic takedowns, and how to defend against them. 2. Standing in guard. This will detail basic defense against an opponent who pushes or knocks you to the ground, yet stays standing. 3. Escapes. This will show how to move from a submissive position to a dominant position on the ground by using basic escapes. 4. Sweeps. Similar to the escapes section, this will detail how to move from a submissive position to a dominant position using basic sweeps. 5. Attacks from guard. Closed guard is one of the greatest defensive and offensive positions for a person on their back. This section will offer a few key attacks and chains for defending off your back. 6. Attacks from mount. This will show you how to control and attack from the top mount once you have achieved it. 7. Putting it together. This section will show you how to chain some of these movements together. An 8th area will be included that covers a brief introduction to stand-up striking in the form of boxing. All fights start standing. A good defense and offense will help you in this position to control the fight and avoid damage. There will be some content overlap in the sections as they are all interrelated. Safety first. Before moving on, it is important to take a moment to consider safety. Be mindful of the following points. Always practice safety first. When practicing any form of martial art or engaging in any strenuous activity, the possibility of injury is present. For this reason, it is necessary to be mindful of safety practices to limit the number of bumps, bruises, and injuries that occur, as well as minimizing the severity. These moves are hard to practice alone. A grappling dummy can be used, but a good training partner is better. Find a partner who will work well with you. A good partner helps you learn the moves. They do not try to make it a fight. Minimal resistance is used when practicing and learning the moves. This allows the technique to develop. When practicing the following moves, always practice them in a safe area. Ideally, these moves should be practiced on Jiu-Jitsu or wrestling-specific mats. Be sure that objects that could be harmful are not in the way. A takedown performed next to a cabinet could result in a bumped head or worse. When practicing chokes, joint locks, strikes, or any other move, apply the minimum amount of pressure needed to perform the moves. Practice is to learn, not hurt. Grappling is the sparring of Jiu-Jitsu. It is when the training partners actively try to perform the moves on the other person. During grappling sessions, opponent resistance is increased, so pressure will be increased. Yet there is still the need to be mindful of how much pressure is applied. Only apply enough pressure to successfully complete the move or get the opponent to tap. I want to cover one final note about the manual before we begin. As you work through various moves, you will notice that I refer to you as the defender and your opponent as the attacker. The moves you use will enable you to defend against the attacker. However, the moves the attacker use are moves you should learn as well. They are moves that can be useful to both parties. For example, one of the first moves you are going to defend against is the double leg takedown. Being able to defend against this move will help you stop a person from taking you to the ground and doing harm. The double leg can be useful for you to attack with as well. At some point in the fight, you might feel the desire to take the fight to the ground, ideally in an attempt to incapacitate your attacker to protect yourself. In this case, a double leg could be useful. Besides the moves being useful, they are fun to learn as well. So as you and your partner work through this manual, take turns playing the defender and the attacker so that both of you can learn all of the moves.